Hello everyone. Now it is the turn of yearly papers finally, and we are already done with all topical MCQs of entire syllabus. And the first MCQ complete paper that I'm going to do today is June 2020, and this is variant 1-2. And for our country, it is variant 1-2. However, variant 1-1 is also relevant because syllabus of both is exactly same. Only it is the difference of regions. In different regions, different variants are basically tested. So you need not to worry about that. Both variants are relevant, and you can do both of them. And we will be doing all of them, inshallah. So starting with question number 1 in 2016. And the pattern is you can stop the video and you can try to figure out this question, and then you can see what is the correct answer. And if it is correct, definitely you need not to watch the entire video. You can move to the next question. You can save your time. And in 2016, 20 billion barrels of oil and 1.6 billion barrels of natural gas were discovered in Texas, USA. Which factors of production has increased in the USA due to this discovery of basically oil and gas. Oil and gas both are basically relevant to the primary industry, and they are part of land. So if we divide factors of production into land, labor, capital, then everything that comes under natural resources is a part of land. So we can simply move to the next question. And question number 2 says the diagram shows a production possibility curve PPC. Which of these points show the largest possible output of product Y currently achievable? Keep in mind, every point along the PPC is achievable or attainable, and point inside the PPC is also attainable. Point outside the PPC is not attainable. So it means we can cross option A. The answer can be A, B, C, can be B, C, or D. So you have to find out the point which shows largest possible output of Y. So if we see at combination C, then product Y is produced this much. And if at D we see product Y is produced this much. And if at point B, we can check the production of Y is Y3. So Y3 is the maximum production of Y good. So option B is correct answer, because examiner is asking about which point shows the largest production of Y. So largest number of production or output is basically Y3, and it is possible at combination Y. And I can basically explain other relevant concepts here too, because point A is basically non-attainable because it is beyond the boundary of resources. This PPC is basically the boundary of resources, and any point outside this PPC is not attainable. Non-attainable means we cannot produce there. So all other points are attainable. Point D also shows unemployment of resources, and it occurs generally in case of economic recession. So this is unemployment. This shows unemployment of resources. Because examiner sometimes asks about the point inside the PPC, you must know that this is caused by increase in unemployment. And okay, so next, moving to question number 3. A student decides to take up a 2 years apprenticeship for which she will earn 10,000 per year. So during apprenticeship, she would earn 10,000 per year. After that, she expects to earn 25,000 per year once she is basically done with apprenticeship. She could take an unskilled job which pays 16,000 per year instead of apprenticeship. Okay. She has two options: go for apprenticeship and would earn 10,000, or go directly for unskilled job which offers 16,000 per year. And the examiner is asking about what is the opportunity cost. What is the opportunity cost in the 2 years of completing apprenticeship? Now she is opting for this option, and she is sacrificing this option. So it means if she is going for apprenticeship, her earning for the 2 years will be 20,000. Now she is earning 20,000. But if she had adopted the second option of going for unskilled job, she could have earned 16,000 per year, and for 2 years she would have earned 32,000. So it means the gap between these two incomes level is 12,000. That is opportunity cost. So she is sacrificing 12,000. So 12,000 will be the opportunity cost. Microeconomics analyzes choices in various situations, which area of economic study does not include. Mean we have to find out the option which is not included in microeconomics. Microeconomics is the branch of economics which deals with economic issues at individual level, like demand of an individual, supply of individual firm, and macroeconomics deals with economic issues of overall economy. So we have to find out the option which is not included in microeconomics. Cost and revenues of firm, they are definitely included in microeconomics because it is talking about a firm. Cost and revenue or income of a single firm is micro, it is individual level. Individual consumer behavior, this is the part of microeconomics because it is again individual consumer, one person is being consulted here. Wages for different occupations, this is again micro level economic issue. Policies for economic growth is a macroeconomic issue. So this is not included in microeconomics. So option B, C is correct answer because C is not included in microeconomics. It is macroeconomics. Okay, so again, one thing is clear from micro and macroeconomics. While we basically spell the macroeconomics, this looks like this. So difference between micro and macro is the difference of I and A. I stand for individual and A stand for aggregates. So macroeconomics deals with economic issues of aggregates overall economy, and microeconomics stands for basically is used for individual issues. Individual, there can be individual person, there can be individual consumer, individual producer, etc. And now coming to question number 5, what is a cause of market failure? Market failure is caused by monopoly because monopoly is a firm that is involved in underproduction and overcharging. When a firm is underproducing, it means it is not sufficiently producing for the society which is needed. And now coming to question number 6, and question number 6 says, the diagram show the supply curve for an individual grower of tomatoes and for the total market supply. So both individual grower and total market, both supply curves are positively sloped. Means if there is rise in price, quantity supply will rise. If there is rise in price, quantity supply will rise. What explains the similarity? This is the similarity because there is direct relationship or positive relationship in both graphs between price and quantity supplied. Because price is increasing, price was initially 0.5, quantity was 1000, price increased to 1.5, quantity increased to 3000, and same phenomena is basically observed here. Price is increasing, quantity supply is also increasing. When both variables move in same direction, we call it direct or positive relationship. Okay, so what is basically the similarity? Both are basically showing the same phenomenon. As cost rises, growers need to get a higher price to increase output. So it means that price increases, output also increases. So this is called direct relationship. So option A is correct answer because it verifies the direct relationship. Whenever cost is high, definitely growers will be looking for higher prices to supply more. And now coming to question number 7, the price of bread rose by 5% and quantity demanded fell by 4%. What was the price elasticity of demand for bread? Price elasticity of demand is calculated as percentage change in quantity demand over percentage change in price. So we have percentage change in quantity demand, that is 4%. We can write minus 4% because it is falling. And there is rise in price of bread basically. So this is 5%. So we need not to write negative sign here because it is increasing, so it is positive. Okay, so percentage sign can be cancelled out. So 4 over 5 is equal to 0.8, and this minus sign will be carried forward. So 0.8 is the answer. B answer is correct. Now moving to question number 8. Question number 8 says, Saudi Arabia specializes in oil extraction. This is a capital intensive industry, meaning it uses more machinery with highly skilled labor force. Efficient and relevant labor forces needed to do this job. What might be disadvantage of specialization? Okay, so specialization is when one person performs one task or one organization performs one job. So option D is correct answer. Workers may face restricted range of job opportunities, because when you are specialized, it means your options for you will decrease because you will be only available for limited range of jobs. Question number 9 says, what could most likely cause a person to increase their savings? Okay, so when they will increase their savings, and that is basically a decision to plan for retirement. This is a good factor, because if you are planning for retirement, it means you will have to save more, because after retirement, your flow of income will decrease. If you don't have saving, you may have any kind of problems. So you will save more here. And option B is a fall in income. If the income falls, you cannot save more. Fall in interest rate. When interest rate is low, people get more loans from financial institutions, and they keep or hold less money in their bank account, because bank is not offering good rate of interest. This will also decrease savings instead of increasing them. So option A is correct answer. It will increase saving, because now people are planning for retirement and they will save more, because after retirement they will have to rely on that saving. Question number 10 says the graph shows women's wages as percentage of men's wage in year 1 and year 2. Okay, so this is percentage of men's wages. This is the graph for year 1, year 2, and this is for year 1. Which statement is shown by the graph? Which statement is shown by the graph to be true? Okay, so option D is correct answer. In year 2, women were earning a higher percentage of men's wages than in year 1. You can see wage rate, percentage change in wage rate is higher in year 2 all the time. Here when at the age of 27, you can see in year 1 it was 75%, now it is 80% in year 2, and same phenomena is observed here in 62 years age. They are earning 65% in year 2, and they are earning less than 65% in year 1. So D is correct answer. Now question number 11, people's income decreases. How is proportion spent on food and leisure likely to change? Definitely when income is low, most of the income of individuals will be spent on food, basic necessity, and leisure being luxury product is basically not demanded when your income is low. So option C is correct answer, because proportion of income spent on food will increase and on leisure it will fall, because when your income is low, you will most of your income will be proportion mean percentage of income that is spent on food. So if you were initially earning, let's say $10,000, now it falls to $3,000. So it means if you were spending $2,000 on food initially, and you are still spending $2,000, so 2,000 is much higher percentage of 3,000 as compared to 10,000. So option C is correct answer. Leisure is a luxury product, and it can be basically you can stop buying them if income is low. Now question number 12. The diagram shows total fixed and total variable cost at different levels of output for a firm. What happens as output increases? Okay, so average fixed cost fall. This is the correct answer. Average fixed cost is basically average fixed cost is equal to fixed cost divided by quantity. And we have this much fixed cost, total fixed cost, and this is quantity produced, output produced. So 1,000 divided by 100 is equal to 10. 1,000 divided by 200 is equal to 5. 1,000 over 300 is equal to 3.3, and this is for the decreasing. It means if we are increasing output, average fixed cost is continuously falling. It was 10, then 5, and 3.3, and it further falling. And it is natural phenomena that average fixed cost always decreases with the rise in output. Why it is true? Because if we focus on this formula, average fixed cost is equal to fixed cost over quantity. Fixed cost remains the same with the level of output. Whatever we produce, fixed cost does not change. And if we increase output, then definitely denominator is increasing, numerator is kept constant, so average fixed cost will fall. So this is natural thing. Question number 13 says the following information refers to a firm producing shoes. At which level of output does the firm maximizes profit? Profit is equal to, we have formula for profit. Profit is equal to total revenue minus total cost. This is total revenue, this is total cost. What you can do is you can deduct this from this. So 1300 minus 1000 is equal to 300. 2200 minus 1800 is equal to 400. 3000 minus 2700 is equal to 300. And 3400 minus 3200 is equal to 200. So maximum profit is 400 and it is achieved at option B. Now moving to question number 14. Which statement proves there has been an increase in productivity of a factory making tractors? Productivity is basically, productivity is calculated as productivity is equal to total output divided by number of workers employed. Number of workers. Productivity is also known as output per worker. Okay, so option B is correct answer. Output per worker increased from 3 tractors to 4 tractors per month. Initially, one person was making 3 tractors in 1 month. Now he is making 4 tractors. It means productivity has increased. One worker is now producing more tractors. Question number 15 is, when do economies of scale take place? Economies of scale is basically reduction in average cost of production, and it happens when we increase the output. And the answer can be option D, sorry. When all factors of production are variable. So if they are variable, then definitely we can reduce cost. If cost is fixed, then that cannot be basically changed. Question number 16 says, what is not included in public expenditure? Public expenditure means government expenditure, right? So in this question, all other options are public expenditure, mean expenditure of the government, but one option is not public expenditure, the expenditure of the government. So capital spending by the firm is individual firm and it is private business. It is not government expenditure, so it is not included in capital expenditure. All other options are public expenditure. Keep in mind, it confuses a lot of students. The word public mean government, and sometimes examiner asks question about public company or public limited company. Public limited company is a private business. Public expenditure are expenditure made by the government. So what is not a government expenditure? We have to find that. So capital expenditure by the firm is not government expenditure. Now question number 17. When is a budget described as balance? Budget is basically the summary of government expenditure and government revenue. So government income minus government expenditure is basically the budget of the government. So balanced budget means when income and expenditure both are equal, balance will be 0. That is called balanced budget. And budget can be surplus. Surplus is when income is greater than expenditure, and budget can be deficit when income is less than expenditure. So here in this question, since we have to find out balanced budget, so we can choose the option that is basically income and expenditure equal. When government spending and government revenues are equal is the correct answer. This is option C. This is also known as equilibrium budget. And definitely equilibrium means equality of income and expenditure. And question number 18 is basically a government increases revenue by increasing taxes on firms. Which tax did it increase? So this is basically inheritance tax, profit tax. This is profit tax because firms pay tax out of their profit. So B option is correct. Question number 19 says, why are governments responsible for defense of the country? Defense means the armed forces like army or air force or navy or the forces like that. are basically the defense, included in defense. So government is responsible for these because it is a public good, and public goods are provided to individuals free of cost. So private sector will not produce it, and government will have to produce it. Okay, so option A is it is impossible to charge a price for defense. So this is correct answer. All other options are not correct. Question number 20 says information about job vacancies on a government website has led to decrease in short-term unemployment. Okay, so what is the term for this type of unemployment? So when there is short-term unemployment, this is called frictional unemployment. Frictional unemployment means unemployment of worker between two jobs. For example, if one person leaves one job and he basically tries to find out the other job, for the time being, he is unemployed. It happens in many industries, like people keep switching their jobs and they face frictional unemployment. And this is also known as transitional unemployment, transitional, when you are in the course of transition, basically. Okay, so I can explain you other types of unemployment here, as cyclical unemployment is basically when overall recession is basically faced by the economies. So recession or decline in aggregate demand basically causes cyclical unemployment. It is very harmful. Structural unemployment is caused by changes in structure of the economy or organizational structure. Like for example, if one layer of certain management is removed by the organization, then all people working there will be made unemployed. And similarly, if government changes law and order, that is also structural unemployment. For example, if government announces that fishing is illegal, then all fishermen will be made unemployed. Technological unemployment is because of changes in technology. Okay, so when technology changes, existing workers might not be able to operate that technology, or the technology might be very efficient and there is less need for workers. So option B is correct answer for this question, because we were basically supposed to find out short-term unemployment. Short-term unemployment is frictional or transitional. Question number 21. The table shows figures of GDP, real GDP of a country. A quarter is 3 months. Definitely quarter means 3 months, because 12 months are in a year. If we divide it by 4, mean quarter, we have to find out the fourth part. It means 3 months period. During which quarter was the country experiencing recession? In quarter 1, it was 100 because we are initiating here. In year 2, it rose. This is good because growth is occurred here. In quarter 3, GDP has decreased from the previous year. So this is recession and it has further decreased. So 3 and 4 are facing recession. So option C is correct answer. Recession means decline or downfall in economic conditions of the country. Question number 22 says, what would not be required in the construction of an index of consumer prices? Index of consumer prices are basically calculated to find out rate of inflation in the country, and it considers base year. This is the part of index. Selection of representative range of items. We need different products to calculate the changes in prices. The weightage of each item in the index. We use weight. Weight means how many goods, how much income is spent on each good. Weighting is basically weightage, how much importance we are giving to something. Generally, we say that I'm giving more importance to economics as compared to business studies, for example. So it means economics is more important for you to focus on as compared to the business studies. So index, while we basically find out consumer price index, we definitely consider weightage, because we might be spending more on one good. For example, we have food, we are spending $5 on food. We have accommodation, let's say we are spending $3, and we are spending on transport, suppose we are spending $2. So it means if we have total $10, out of 10 we are giving more weightage to food, relatively less weightage to accommodation, and least weightage to the transport. This is basically called weight. So we need weight to find out price index. Option C is correct answer, because in calculating price index, we need not to know about the average wage levels. This has nothing to do with retail price index. Now question number 23. The table gives information about 3 economic indicators in 4 countries. 3 economic indicators are inflation rate, interest rate, and unemployment rate. What may be concluded about this information? Option A is correct answer. Countries with higher inflation have higher interest rate. So this is true because we can see country X has inflation rate 3.7% and its interest rate is 8.7, and country Y has 3.6 rate of inflation and 7.3 rate of interest. So these 2 countries have high rate of inflation as well as high rate of interest rate. So option A is correct answer. You can evaluate all other options. They are not correct. 24 is due to war, some people are living in absolute poverty. And absolute poverty is basically when you don't have sufficient amount of income for your basic necessities. So option D is correct answer, receiving insufficient food for basic nutrition. It means you cannot satisfy the basic needs. Another type of poverty is basically relative poverty, and relative poverty is when you have sufficient amount of income and you can satisfy all of your needs and some of your wants as well, but you feel that you are relatively poor as compared to the people living around you. That is relative poverty. And absolute poverty is when you cannot satisfy your basic needs. So D is correct answer. And now moving to 25, which country would be classified as most developed country based on the data? This data is basically used here. And most developed country will be the country which has GDP per head, highest GDP per head. GDP per head is basically the GDP divided by population. This is the formula for this. Okay, so we have different GDPs like 600. We have population 3 million. 600 over 3 is equal to 200, and 700 over 2 is equal to 350, and 12,000 divided by 4 is equal to, you can cancel 0 with 0, and this is again 300, and 15,000 over 10 over 100, we can cancel out these two figures, 150. So the highest GDP is per head is the GDP of country B. So generally country B should be considered as the most developed country. Okay, so now question number 26, which changes usually result when a country develops and is able to provide free healthcare and good living conditions? There are 2 main economic indicators here. One is free healthcare and number 2 is better living conditions. Okay, so if you are providing free healthcare, it means birth rate should decrease. So we can cross these 2 options, option C and D. Option A and B can be the correct answer. And death rate should fall definitely, because if healthcare is improving, death rate should fall. Less people should die now. We can cross these options. So option A is correct answer for this question. And we can also evaluate the last option, that is labor productivity. It will increase definitely if living conditions are good. People will be healthy, and healthy workforce can increase productivity in the country. 27 is, which protectionist measure would be most suitable for a country, for a government to use to support the growth of export industry? Protectionist measures basically include all of these are protectionist measures: embargo, quota, subsidy, tariff. Now we are basically focusing on export. For export, we need subsidy to the private producers, so they produce qualitative goods in large quantity that can be exported to other countries. This is embargo is ban on imports, 100% ban when we set zero quota. Quota is physical limitation on quantity of goods that can be imported into the country. This is again relevant to import. Tariff is imposed on imported goods. All other barriers are for imported goods. Option C is a protectionist measure for export industry, because it will protect the local industry from international competition. If we are providing subsidy, local producers will be able to produce greater quantity and better quality. Question number 28 is, there has been an appreciation of value of currency against other currencies. Appreciation means increase in value of currency. What effects will this have on prices of imports of raw material and price of exports of manufactured goods. So this is price of imports and this is price of exports. Okay, so keep in mind one acronym, that is DEC and DIE. DEC and DIE. Here I'm using D for depreciation of currency or devaluation of currency. Devaluation of currency makes exports cheaper, mean price of export falls whenever there is depreciation of currency, and price of imports will rise. Depreciation makes imports expensive, so price of import will rise. This is for devaluation or depreciation of currency. Now examiner is asking about appreciation of currency. In appreciation, the result will be quite opposite. If there is appreciation of currency, then price of export must rise and price of import must fall. I'm using PX for price of export, PM for price of import. So you have to find out this thing. So price of import will fall, definitely it will be cheaper. So we can cross option C and D, and price of export should rise. It should be expensive. No, so option B is correct answer. So we can cross option A. Moving to question number 29. What is the disadvantage of increased specialization by a country? When country specializes, then what will be the disadvantages? Option A is it becomes more reliant on imports to meet all its needs. So option A is correct answer, because when you are specialized, it means you will be focusing on one thing, you will be importing other things from other countries. And the last question of this paper is question number 30. The table shows components of Japan's current account balance in trillions yen for 2011 and 2012. Okay, so these are different figures. Which balance improved between 2011 and 2012? So option D is correct answer. Balance of secondary income improved. You can see all other options are basically decreasing. This is improving because it was in deficit, no doubt. Negative mean deficit. Deficit is when exports are less than imports, and it was minus 1.1 trillion yen deficit. Now it has decreased to 1.02 trillion deficit. Deficit is decreasing, it means we are improving. All other options are basically not suitable for this question. Option A says balance of goods. Balance of goods, this is balance of goods. Balance of goods has not improved because deficit was initially 1.61, but deficit increased a lot. Balance of services was in deficit 1.76. Balance deficit has increased further. Negative sign shows deficit, and positive sign shows surplus. Balance of primary income is initially 14.04 and it decreased to 13.5. So surplus decreased here. Here we are in surplus, but surplus decreased. So we are not improving here. We are only improving in secondary income. Okay, everyone, this is it for this paper, and this is complete paper. And you have 45 minutes to solve this, and you can definitely do it within 45 minutes. So I have planned to at least do yearly papers of 2020, 2019, and 2018. So at least I will try to do these papers because 2 papers are from 2020, 2 papers are from 2019, and overall they are 6 yearly papers. If you do 6 yearly papers effectively, then you can easily understand each and every point of the syllabus. And furthermore, if you have any difficulty in any topic, I suggest all of you to go to the topical MCQs I have been explaining and quickly review that video and see it. Watch it, and you will definitely be able to understand that. And so this is it for today's lesson. See you in the next class. So thank you so much. Stay in touch with me. If you want me to explain any certain type of question, you can just WhatsApp me on this number. My WhatsApp number is 0333 4429 673. Just WhatsApp me on this number. Take a picture of that question and send it to me, and I will definitely explain you what is the correct answer and why is the correct answer certain questions. So I'm always there to help you out. Whenever I will get some time, I will get back to you. So this is it for today's lesson. See you in the next lesson. Thank you.